Hello everyone and welcome to yet another epic airsoft review. Today we're going to be reviewing the Matrix AGM MP40. This one's going to be the full metal edition and it's going to be the AEG version. There's a few other different variants out there like a CO2 version and there's a different caliber as well. There's I think a 4.5 millimeter steel BB edition. This one's going to be the Airsoft 6 millimeter edition that we're going to be reviewing. What I'm going to be talking about in this review video is kind of the ins and outs of this particular airsoft gun. We're going to talk about build quality. We're going to chrono the thing and get some FPS on it just to see what it would read with different BB weights. We're going to talk a little bit about the battery and just the other features that this airsoft gun comes with when you do decide to pick it up. I did purchase this on eBike's website, ebike.com, and I got it for a pretty decent price. I thought it was fairly priced for what the quality is, and I definitely say I am a World War II fanatic when it comes to historic firearms, so this one's definitely an interesting one, and I've been looking forward to getting it so I can get a chance to review it for you guys to see if it may be of interest for you to pick up. So let's get into the review video, guys. I hope you enjoy. So a few things I want to highlight with this airsoft gun is, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's going to be full metal build for the most part. There's going to be a few plastic components, but you're going to expect a 1-to-1 scale of a real MP40 in the box. And the weight itself feels pretty solid, around 7 pounds, at least from what I've been able to find out as far as this particular airsoft gun goes. So you already know for that kind of weight and given the kind of compact submachine gun style that this is, that's a pretty solid weight, which is a good indicator that majority of everything's going to be metal. So you're going to get some plastic components, which again is going to be the hand grip here is going to be plastic, and if I'm not mistaken, the under portion here is also plastic as well, right where the buttstock collapses into. So you're going to get just a few components there. Otherwise, you're going to get your sights. They're going to be made out of metal. Your entire barrel assembly, your magazine well, the top portion of the stock itself, it's all going to be metal on this airsoft MP40. So a very nice touch. I think Matrix/AGM did a pretty good job on the build as well. And the other side of it, where the charging handle is, of course, most of everything there is made of metal as well. Some additional features on the other side of this MP40 is you're going to have your mock charging handle, which is going to be pretty much a half travel, and then of course as you charge it, you're going to notice that the port over here, the ejection port, opens up as well. So as you move that, again, it doesn't have any functionality other than for show, and in here is actually where you can adjust your hop up. You're going to have a switch that moves left to right, and then that's how you can adjust your hop on this airsoft submachine gun. So very nice touch there. I'll take a closer look at the hop-up so you guys can get an idea of what to expect as far as your tuning goes. So flipping it to the other side, you'll get a chance to see as you pull the charging handle, you're going to expose the hop-up assembly right here. There's only going to be two functions that you're going to come with. You're going to have the normal position, which it's in right now. You're going to see the little arrows right here where it's normal on the right and then hop on the left. So if you take the switch here, this where it's kind of like ribbed over here, you're going to move that to your left. You've engaged your hop up, and then of course you can kind of put it in the middle if you want, or more to the right, depending on your BB weight and things of that nature. So right now it'll come in the normal position, just like what you would expect out of the box, and then you can just close that up and then you're done adjusting your hop up. Since traditionally the MP40 is made for righties, you're going to have a lot of your functionalities on your left side of the firearm. You have your mag release right here, you have your charging handle, and then you have your fire selector switch right here. And then on top of that too, towards the end of the MP40, you have the button to release your stock and lock it in place. So you're going to find everything, of course, to be just like the real steel counterpart of the real MP40. So again, you're going to have different positions here. You're going to be in your full auto mode with the switch up, and then if you rotate this forward, facing towards you, it's the semi-automatic position. So you do have the functionality of 2 fire modes, which is very convenient. And then of course you have very easy use as far as releasing the magazine. You'll press the button here and the magazine comes down, and so on and so forth. So it's very smooth, very solid, and it's not bad at all. You get a satisfying nice click there. So then you have your collapsible stock. So again, just like the real MP40, you're going to have the ability to run it either short, or if you want a little bit more accuracy, press that button, extend the stock, extend the butt plate there, and then there you go. Now you have the capabilities of having a little bit more support and a little bit more accuracy with your shots. And then as far as returning it back in a normal position, you're just going to press this button and then fold it downward, and then it's going to collapse right underneath, and now it's flush with the gun and you're ready to go. Additionally, you do have sling points on this, and that's going to be towards the front right here. And then as far as the rear one goes, I am not certain where it's going to be convenient. It's going to really depend on your preference. The slot back here is pretty narrow enough to where you could fit something through it, but it's looking a little thin there. I haven't had a chance to mount a sling on this, but you have the functionality of doing so if you are looking for that ultimate realism and you're looking for something that you're not going to have to carry in your hands the whole time if you get hanging on your shoulder. So that's going to be the side of the MP40. Nothing else exciting on here besides a stamping from the manufacturer, and then typically you'll get a sticker right here saying made in China, and that's about it. As far as iron sights go, these are going to be as iron sights as you can get. There's really not much functionality besides your normal sight position, and then you have a flip-up sight, which was going to aid you in your distance shots. So I don't know how practical this is. I haven't really had a chance to use this thing in long distances. I feel in the airsoft version, you're going to be just fine with using the normal setting for your sights. And then of course, towards the front here, nothing exciting either. Everything's fixed, so you don't really have much capability as far as sight adjustment goes, or even mounting any custom optics for that matter. Battery removal is pretty straightforward on this MP40. There is a recommendation as far as battery power goes, so you want to have a butterfly type battery, a small one preferably. 8.4 volt is pretty good, although they did recommend a 7.4, so I have something like this as a good example of what you'd want, only because you don't have a lot of space to work with. So I'll do it real time to give you guys an idea as far as how to remove this dust covering to get to the actual battery. So to make it easier, you're going to want to go ahead and open up your stock, and then on the bottom of the MP40, you're going to have this dial looking wheel right underneath, and how you're going to do it is you're going to just grab that dial, pull it down, and then twist it until it kind of stays protruded outward like this. Once you see that, then what you're going to do next is you're going to take the 2 halves of the MP40 and just kind of pull forward. This one's a little snug, but you're going to pull forward and you're going to separate the MP40 into 2 halves. So here's the first half, and then here is the second half. So let me go ahead and get this in kind of a little clearer view so you guys can really see it in better detail. Okay, so now we have the half of the MP40 that you can kind of see. I have a little bit more of an overpowered battery. I wouldn't advise doing this if it's only going to be for a few shots, just again as I did for the sake of this video, because this is a 9.6 volt stick type or nunchuck type battery if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to go ahead and just take this out so you guys can get a chance to see what it looks like. It's a little bit snug in here, and again, this is why I don't recommend it, because you have very, very little room to work with. So I went ahead and took that out, And you can kind of see the inside components here. So you basically have from the end of the piston all the way to probably the very end of this casing here to where you could fit a battery. And that's where, again, you want to go with a butterfly style type, because you can see the difference that this one is about maybe 3/4 of the size compared to this one. So you want one that's a little shorter, just because for the ease of inserting and taking out the battery. So you can kind of see already the difference with the inserting of the battery. If I did the 9.6, it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge because it's a snug fit. But once you put the battery in, you connect up the two connectors, female to male, and then from there you're good to go. So you want to just be careful. You want to tuck these in the right way, just because when you do slide the other half of the MP40 back on, you don't want to cut the wiring in any way. So you definitely want to be careful. So pretty much you're going to repeat the same steps as you did, and you're just going to go ahead and slide this back on. I'm trying to do this here and watch it to make sure it looks right. Even I'm not doing it right. There we go. There we go. It's a little tricky, but nothing too intense. So once you snap it back on, you're just going to twist this knob until it just recedes in on its own. At some point. There we go. And then it clicks in like so. And now you have just put in the battery to your AGM Matrix MP40. Now here's another little interesting bit about the MP40. So there is no functional safety that's on either side of the MP40, just like you would really get with most airsoft guns. Not the case here. You're going to have a little switch here right on the bottom of the hand grip. So this is going to be acting as your safety. Right now the position that I have it in is it's considered to be in the safe mode. If you flick it back, it's going to be in the fire mode. So this is kind of neat. It's very small. It's very hidden. You're not going to notice it, but it's something you want to be mindful of, because that was the first thing I was looking for, is if this thing even had a safety. It's basically like a dead switch for the battery to not do anything. So that's your form of safety, and it's right on the bottom of the MP40. As far as the magazine goes, you're going to get one that's pretty solid. It's made of all metal for the most part, not very many plastic components besides the top here. And you're going to get about a 50 round capacity out of this magazine. So you can use your speed loader definitely. It's not a high cap magazine by any means. It's just putting it through the top there, filling it up until you're good to go, popping it in, and then rock and roll. So if you are looking to use this practically and use this in either reenactments or actual airsoft games, you may want to pick up maybe a few more of these. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure they sell high capacity versions of them, but you're going to definitely get a 50 rounder right out of the box. Nice and easy to use, and nothing else to it. It is to be noted that this being an airsoft replica in the United States, you will typically have a blaze orange tip on the front of the barrel. I have removed it in this video, but be expected to see that when you do open up this airsoft gun. I'll be demonstrating a chrono test for the MP40. We're going to be testing 5 shots here at the 0.20 gram BB weight. The advertised velocity that the website was portraying for this airsoft gun was around 300 to 350 FPS at that BB weight. Range-wise, 60 to 100 feet is again what was advertised. I won't be able to demonstrate range, but at least we can get an idea how accurate that listing is. So I went ahead and loaded up my 5 BBs here, and we're going to go ahead and test out to see what this thing's really shooting at, just so you guys can get an idea as far as what to expect. So first shot was 291, 337, looks like another 337 if I were to guess, 343, 340. you kind of get an idea as far as what the FPS is for 0.2 gram BBs. We'll check 0.23 next. Next up, I have my 0.23 gram BBs, and we'll get a chance to see what the first 5 shots are looking like for the velocity. So let's get to it. Okay, so you got 312 for that one. Another 312, I'm assuming. 309. 312 again. 316. You could definitely tell with a slightly heavier BB, you're going to have a pretty decent drop in FPS, and it brings it down to a pretty friendly level, especially if you're looking to use this in CQB games. With .2s, it's still kind of on the cusp of shooting right at the limit for most places, or just under that. If you really want to not risk it, getting in the next grade down, or I'm sorry, the BB weight up is going to help lower that FPS down a little bit.